common sense revolts at the idea. This is how the law usually works. Not often this abruptly or impatiently, but eventually this is how it works. Whether it takes pages or a few words, it is the special genius of a common law system as ours is, that the law adjusts to the technologies of the time. And as it adjusts, it changes. Ideas that were as solid as rock in one age crumble in another. At the beginning of our history, and for just about the whole of our tradition, non-commercial culture was essentially unregulated. Of course, if your stories were lewd or if your song disturbed the peace, then the law might intervene. But the law was never directly concerned with the creation or spread of this form of culture, and it left this culture free. The ordinary ways in which ordinary individuals shared and transformed their culture, telling stories, reenacting scenes from plays or TV, participating in fan clubs, sharing music, making tapes, were left alone by the law. The focus of the law was on commercial creativity. At first slightly, then quite extensively, the law protected the incentives of creators by granting them exclusive rights to their creative work, so that they could sell those exclusive rights in a commercial marketplace. This is also, of course, an important part of creativity and culture, and it's become an increasingly important part in America. But in no sense was it dominant within our tradition. It was instead just one part, a controlled part, balanced with the free. This rough divide between the free and the controlled has now been erased. The internet has set the stage for this erasure, and, pushed by big media, the law has now affected it. For the first time in our tradition, the ordinary ways in which individuals create and share culture fall within the reach of the regulation of the law, which has expanded to draw within its control a vast amount of culture and creativity that it never reached before. Digital technologies, tied to the internet, could produce a vastly more competitive and vibrant market for building and cultivating culture. That market could include a much wider and more diverse range of creators. Those creators could produce and distribute a much more vibrant range of creativity, and depending upon a few important factors, those creators could earn more on average from the system than creators do today, all so long as the RCAs of our day don't use the law to protect themselves against this competition. Yet that is precisely what is happening in our culture today. These modern-day equivalents of the early 20th century radio or 19th century railroads are using their power to get the law to protect them against this new, more efficient, more vibrant technology for building culture. They are succeeding in their plan to remake the internet before the internet remakes them. While the internet has indeed produced something fantastic and new, our government, pushed by big media to respond to this something new, is destroying something very old. Rather than understanding the changes that the internet might permit, and rather than taking time to let common sense resolve how best to respond, we are allowing those most threatened by the changes to use their power to change the law, and more importantly, to use their power to change something fundamental about who we have always been.